Go outside tonight and look up. Every star you can see is going to die. Most of them will be gone before the universe is 100th of the way through its life. And that sky, the one you grew up under, the one in every painting and every photograph ever taken, is a temporary condition. The universe is not usually like this. We live in what astronomers call the stelliferous era, the age of stars. Right now, there are around 200 billion trillion of them. Enough that if you gave every grain of sand on Earth its own star, you would run out of sand long before you ran out of stars. They have been burning for 13 billion years. It feels permanent. It feels like the default state of things. The background the rest of reality is painted on. It is a flash. Stars are not eternal fires. They are gas that has been squeezed hard enough to burn, and there is only a fixed amount of gas. Worse, it is a one-way trip. Every star locks a portion of that gas up permanently in a dead core it will never release. The tank is not just finite, it is leaking. The universe has already spent most of it. Star formation peaked 10 billion years ago and has fallen ever since. Today it runs at roughly 3% of what it once was, and it is still dropping. We did not arrive at the beginning. We arrived after the party. In roughly 100 trillion years, the last cloud of gas anywhere will collapse, ignite, and become the youngest star that will ever exist. Nothing after it. Not one more, ever again. It will probably be small and red and unremarkable, and it will hold that title for the rest of time. The newest thing in a universe that has stopped making new things. And the universe will still be young. Barely 1/10,000th of the way through what comes next. The big stars go first, and they go badly. A star 40 times the mass of the Sun burns through its fuel in a few million years, a rounding error, astronomically speaking, then collapses in on itself and detonates. For a few weeks it outshines the entire galaxy around it. It looks like a beginning. Every element heavier than iron in your body was forged in one of those. But it is not a beginning. It is a star spending everything it has at once and leaving behind a corpse too dense for light to escape. Every one of those is a light going out. Spectacularly, but out. The small stars last. Red dwarfs are dim, cool, and unbelievably frugal. They churn their entire body from the inside out, so unlike the Sun, they get to burn every last atom of fuel they own, rather than just the core. A star 1/10 the mass of the Sun can keep that up for 10 trillion years, 1,000 times longer than the Sun will manage. Not one of them has died yet. The universe is not old enough. They are why the lights stay on so long. Long after the last galaxy has gone dark to the naked eye, red dwarfs will still be out there, glowing faintly, burning their final hydrogen in an empty sky. They are the universe's last candles. And then one of them is the last. Somewhere around 100 trillion years from now, in a galaxy that no longer has a name because there is nobody left to name it, the final star will exhaust the final hydrogen it can reach. There is no supernova, no flare, nothing marks it. It simply cools and dims and goes quiet, the way a coal goes quiet. After that, the universe is dark. Not poetically, literally. There is no longer any object anywhere producing visible light. The age of stars is over, and it lasted almost no time at all. What is left is a graveyard of extremely dense objects. White dwarfs, the exposed cores of dead stars packed into something the size of Earth, still faintly warm from a fire that stopped burning trillions of years ago. Neutron stars, where a teaspoon of material weighs as much as a mountain range. And black holes. They drift, they cool. Nothing produces energy anymore. Everything is just slowly giving back the heat it already had. Occasionally, two of them find each other and collide, and for a fraction of a second, something bright happens again. Then it is quiet for another trillion years. And then something stranger happens. If protons decay, and most theories say they eventually must, then matter itself has an expiry date. Somewhere between 10 to the 34th and 10 to the 40th years, the atoms making up those dead stars simply come apart. Not destroyed, dissolved. Every white dwarf, every frozen planet, every asteroid, every remnant of every world that ever had weather on it, quietly evaporating into loose particles. There is no explosion and nobody to see it. It takes longer than every previous chapter combined. The universe stops being made of things. After that, black holes inherit everything. They are the last structures standing, not because they are strong, but because there is nothing left that could take them apart. For a stretch of time that makes everything before it look instantaneous, the cosmos is nothing but black holes, drifting further and further from one another through space that will not stop expanding. No light, no matter, no events worth the name. Just enormous, silent wells, falling away from each other in the dark. This era lasts longer than every era before it combined, by a factor of billions. But even black holes are not permanent. They leak. Unimaginably slowly, they radiate their own mass away into the dark until there is nothing left to radiate. A black hole the mass of the Sun would need 10 to the 67th years to finish. The largest ones need 10 to the 100th. Write that out, and it is a 1 followed by 100 zeros. There is no useful comparison for it. Every number you have ever heard is closer to 0 than it is to that. And then the last black hole finishes evaporating, and nothing anywhere in the universe has structure anymore. What remains is a thin, cold fog of particles spreading forever through space that never stops growing. No stars, no structure, no events, because everything that could happen already has, and nothing is left with enough energy to make anything else happen. That is not a catastrophe. It is just the end of the story, and then the page staying blank. And it is the state the universe spends almost the whole of its existence in. Now go back to the scale. All of it. Every star that has ever burned, every one still to be born, the whole age of light, happens in the first sliver of that timeline. Compress the life of the universe into a single year, and the era of stars is over before the first sunrise on the 1st of January. Everything we have ever seen or imagined or pointed a telescope at fits inside that. We are not living at the end of anything. We are absurdly, impossibly early. Almost every observer that could ever exist would exist in the dark, in the cold, with nothing left to look at. We do not. We got the window with the stars still in it. We got the part with light and heat and chemistry, and the specific, improbable chain of events that ends with something alive looking up and asking how long all this lasts. That is not a small thing to have been handed. The lights are still on. Go outside tonight and look up.